Right, the latest updates coming in as far as the Krishna Janmabhoomi case is concerned. The order has been, I believe, reserved, and we'll get to know the details in just a bit. For now, what was the point of order today? The point of order today was the modalities of the court-appointed panel or the court commissioners who will visit the site at the Shadihi Eidgah Mosque and the Krishna Janmabhoomi site, that particular disputed site, from where this entire dispute really stems in. And at that particular site, the court-appointed advocate commissioners will conduct a survey. They will submit a report to the court concerned. Under the Civil Procedure Code, this is the ordinary process which is followed. At the end of the day, it's a property dispute of sorts between the two sides. The argument of the Hindu side has been that till a court-appointed commissioner actually looks into this matter, actually goes to the site and visits the site, the case cannot really move ahead. At around 4 p.m., we will know the details of the order, the modalities of how this panel will really look like, how many court commissioners will be appointed, what will be the ambit of this particular panel. Ananya, we await the orders, but what exactly will the court decide? A, it will be about the number of commissioners which will be appointed, and B would be the kind of powers they would have while inspecting. What is it that we can expect at 4 p.m.? Could you elaborate on that, please?
Well, Anusha, at this point of time, a first and foremost question that the Allahabad High Court today will be deciding at this point of time at 4 p.m. would be whether or not the Advocate Commissioner survey would be delayed until the 9th of January when the Supreme Court actually hears this particular matter, because this is the major contention that was raised in fact by the petitioners today before the Allahabad High Court, saying that they have filed an SLP before the Supreme Court that is to be heard on the 9th of January. If you remember, on the last date of hearing at the Supreme Court, when they had mentioned the matter orally, the Supreme Court had not put any kind of a stay. So definitely there is no stay, no bar when it comes to not taking this survey forward. However, the Supreme Court had told the Muslim side to inform the High Court that it will be hearing the particular matter on January 9th. So whether or not would Justice Mayank Agarwal allow this particular survey to happen without the Supreme Court hearing taking place, whether he will not allow this survey to happen, that is something that would be the first questions to be answered. Now to the second aspect of it with regards to the modality. The Allahabad High Court would be deciding the number of people, the number of advocate commissioners who would be carrying out this exercise, what power would they be having, and what area and how would they be surveying this particular area. Secondly, they will be deciding as to, after deciding the number, they will also be deciding as to who will be these advocate commissioners for this particular survey to be carried out. But since this development has now come in, let me go back to the petitioner who was here for some time, and we'll try to get in a word from them as well. So we'll have to see as to how things pan out, and let's see what they try to say. They are hopeful for a favorable order from in fact the Allahabad High Court. So let us see and speak to the petitioner who is here. किस तरीके से देखते हैं इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने 4 बजे के लिए फैसला सुरक्षित रखा है कि एडजर्नमेंट अलाउ करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे?
देखिए, यहाँ सभी कृष्ण भक्त आए हुए हैं और सभी की यही कामना है कि तारीख जल्द से जल्द फाइनल हो जाए, क्योंकि जब तक तारीख निश्चित नहीं होगी, जब तक सर्वे नहीं होगी, सर्वे में क्या क्या तत्व रखे जाएंगे, सभी की मनोकामना है, सभी यही चाहते हैं कि जल्द तारीख निश्चित हो जाएगी, कोर्ट का फैसला आ जाएगा तो यहाँ न्याय की उम्मीद जगेगी, क्योंकि सभी कृष्ण भक्तों ने अब बहुत दिन सह लिया, बहुत दिन तक हमारे मंदिर पे कब्जा हो रखा है, ये कब्जा जल्द से जल्द हटना चाहिए।
So you heard, in fact, Anusha, the petitioner, he is one of the petitioners in this particular case, and they are hopeful that an order would come in. But we have to also remember, if we go by the Supreme Court, what had happened in the Supreme Court, and if you look at the order of the Allahabad High Court, the High Court was very clear when it had passed an order for the Advocate Commissioner survey that there would be no kind of harm that would be caused to any of the parties if at all the survey is allowed, because if you remember, under the Code of Civil Procedure, you covered law yourself, for a long time you've been covering it, that under the Code of Civil Procedure there is time granted to parties after Advocate Commissioner survey has been conducted, that they can raise their objection with regards to the report of the Advocate Commissioner, and there are legal remedies also available to them. So whether or not the Allahabad High Court would be giving them giving an adjournment to this hearing, whether a date would be decided for the particular survey, and whether or not this kind of request that was made by the Muslim side would be allowed, is something that is a matter of time. We'll get to know at 4 p.m. when Justice Mayank Agarwal sits again with the order and pronounces it.
So the court is not going to decide on whether the survey is going to be conducted or not. The survey will be conducted. That order has also been affirmed by the Supreme Court of India. The modalities of the court-appointed panel is something that will be decided and revealed to us in that order at 4 p.m. Cutting across